Hi everyone, Anne here. I'm actually doing a video for my very first time. I have been asked a few times in the past if I would do videos, and so I thought I would take the plunge and make one today. Not sure how it will turn out, but I'll give it a go. First of all, apologies if you hear traffic. I'm on the main road that runs through the village, so you can hear it. But anyway, we'll start. So this is what we're doing, and it's a page for my book. I don't usually do things twice, but I've done this for the video so that I can follow. So that's what we're doing. And to start, you need a 6x4 card, pink frog card. Mine's from Tracy, and cut a piece of calico or whatever material you want, roughly the same size, and glue it to the card. And then I'm going to be using the stencil SS35. Then the stamps are TE3, TE43 for the text, TE50 for this foliage, TE44 for this wee bird, and TE57, and I'm just using the branches on this side of the birdhouse. The colours I'm using are oxides, aged mahogany, rusty hinge, vintage photo, ground espresso, black soot, and forest moss. For the stamping, I'm using pine cone and nocturne. So we'll just get started. I'll just move all this out the way. I've already glued my piece of material to my card, and I've just blended some vintage photo around the edge, leaving this area clear. So we'll get started. I'm hoping to keep you in camera. My first time, so you need to bear with me. Hopefully it will go well. Okay, let's start. So the first thing I do is I take my mushroom stencil, and I've got my blending brushes here, so I'll just sort them out. So the first colour, I'll just hold my stencil down. I don't think I need to tape it, so I'll hold that down. I'm moving over slightly, and I'm going to start with vintage photo. Sorry about my arm. I'll try and bring these down here so I don't go across the camera all the time. So I'm starting with vintage photo. I'm just going to do them like that and that, just so I've got them in some kind of order. So I start with my vintage photo, coming in from the edge. I'll just go around the whole thing, down the stalk, do the same with the wee one. Just keep going down. That's the vintage photo. Then I'm going to take ground espresso and just come in slightly with that, just to give it a little bit of shadow, darker bits, bringing it down the stalk as well, just slightly. Same with the wee one. onto the stalk. I am going to make the bottom of the stalk a little bit darker. Back in there. Then I'm going to take Rusty Hinge. I'm going to come from this side now. It will take some of the colour off the side of the stencil along with it, that's fine. Some Rusty Hinge, a little bit at that bit of the stalk. And then I'm going to come in with a little bit of aged mahogany just over on this side on both mushrooms or fungi. Coming in with a little bit more Rusty Hinge. And a little bit more Vintage Photo just there. I'm going to make this stalk a little bit darker. I'm just going to have a look. Then to finish that off, I'm taking the black soot. I'm just coming in on the edge. I don't want to go too far in. It's really just to detail the edge of the mushroom a little bit. And it gives it a nice bit of shading. Tiny bit in here on this side. Oh, wrong one. Down here. Down the edge of the stalk. Same on the wee one. Just keep putting that bit of darker colour around the edge. I'm going to put a bit of the black at the base of the stalk. We will be doing more to the stalks later on. Just going to have a look at that. Yep, that's fine. This you could use for another card. I did with my first one, but I'll just put that to one side for now. Put that there. So now I'll put these away, and I'm bringing in my stamping platform. Now I might not get the whole thing in. I'll get the stamping actually in, but not the me doing the stamping, because it's right at the other side. I don't have a lot of room on this desk, but I'll try my best. So I'm going to bring in a couple of the ferns, the small one and the medium one. So I will keep looking at my one that I've already made. I'm going to push this up a little bit. Is that better? That may be better there. And we'll start. So have that there so I can see it. So I'm going to start with the big fern. I'm going to put that about there, and then the wee fern can go anywhere, to be quite truthful, or preference, but I'll try and stay within what I've done already. I'm going to use Rusty Hinge. Now I know you can't see me doing this, but it literally is just stamping the stamps, and a little bit of ground espresso, just a little bit, and a hint of the aged mahogany. I'm not wetting it, I'm just putting it straight down. Probably need to do it again, yeah. So just the same colours again, Rusty Hinge, ground espresso, red aged mahogany. Back in. That's it. Now what I'm doing with these, I'm not wiping the stamp. I'm going to get some second generation. So I'm actually going to put that one there. And this one here. Press down. Then I'll wipe my stamps. Come back, and I'm not going to use the big one again. I'm just going to use the wee one now. So I'll come in here. And excuse me 1 second. I'm hoping the light's okay in this. Now I'm going to use forest moss. Come in. And I'm going to add a little bit of the ground espresso. Once again, stamp it again. Whoops. Ground espresso. Wipe that. Again, I'm going to use that as a second generation. I'll just put that there. Just a second knot. And have I got enough there? I'll do one more. And I'm going to put that there. And I'll maybe do this in the green again. And some ground espresso, not much. Press. That's fine. So I think I'm finished with the fern. Take that off. And I'm going to come in with the foliage. I love this stamp, absolutely love it. So I'm going to put that there, kind of there maybe. I'm doing a Tracy and faffing, and I'm going to use rusty hinge, aged mahogany, and again rusty hinge, aged mahogany, and then I'm going to use that as a second generation. I'm actually going to take it up here. Press. That's fine. Wipe the stamp. Then I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do some, she's probably slightly different to my main one. I'm going to do some vintage photo and some ground espresso. And again, I'll just use, actually I'm going to use forest green over the top. Just change my mind. And then put that up there. I'm going to bring in forest moss. go in again. That wasn't forest moss, that was vintage photo. Forest moss, that's better. I'll do it another one. Forest moss. A little bit of second gen here with the forest moss. Yep, that's fine. Wipe my stamp. Excuse me. And then come in. Doesn't matter where. It's all double stamping. It's all stamping over stamping. Aged mahogany. Rusty hinge. The other way around this time. Yep. Aged mahogany. Rusty hinge. Lovely. And then some second generation. Whoops. That's fine. Wipe my stamp. Just a little bit more now. So I will do that there. I think I'll go for forest moss. Where I got Morris from, I don't know. And finally, here. And we will do rusty hinge and aged mahogany. Do that again, rusty hinge, aged mahogany. I'm quite happy with that. Do a little bit of second gen just here, and that'll be it for the foliage. Yeah, that's fine. Put that back for now because I will come back to that. Then we're going to do some branches on this side. So I'm going to move this over because I know I need more room at that side, and place them there. So I'm only wanting these down this side. So don't mind if a little bit of the bark goes in on this because it's at the edge. And for this, I'm going to use a ground espresso, forest moss. Sorry if you can't see this stamping that I'm doing, but you'll all know how to do that. It's only mixing the colours. So it was ground espresso and forest moss. Back in. That should do it. Yep, that's fine. Now I'm going to extend that a little bit. So you wipe your stamp. Dry it off a little bit. Not on your hands really like I just done, but anyway. Then I'm going to move it down so that it's not all in the same place, and just extend, I'll tilt it a little bit, extend these branches a bit. Don't want it too far in, but now this time I can't use the bark because obviously you'll see it, but I'm going to come right in, right next to the bark, and forest moss, Then take my wipe and just wipe off the bark a bit, as much as I can, and then go in. Hopefully this will work. Yep. Do it again. Again, you can always join up any branches, either a fine pencil or a pen, whatever, but by the time I've finished you won't really notice. Bring that in. That will do that. Clean the stamp, because I'm going to now bring it round the front, round the front at the top. So do I want that one in? Not sure. We'll see. Actually, take it up there. Take that. Oh, got thread on it. And what was I using? Ground espresso and forest moss. Just wipe down at the bark and in. Yep, that's fine. I'll do it again. I might extend that a little bit, I'll see. Or I might move it a little bit actually. We'll see. Will I move it a bit? Yeah, I'm just going to do another little bit on it. Not much. Not much at all. I'm just going to bring a branch in there. So I'm actually going to take just that one, to be quite truthful. So it's this one. And yeah, that'll do. That will do. White stamp, so that's that done. Leave them there. Now I'm going to put a wee bird on here. Whereabouts? I think down here on this branch here. Yep, keeps moving. Put them down a little bit, stick into my hand. Oh. Right, I think that should be all right. And this is getting done with Nocturne. Now, when I was practicing this, if you press down too hard on small stamps, kind of squash them, and the ink kind of spreads out. So you just want to be very gentle, especially with a stamping platform, because you can tend to lean on it heavy. So I'm just being very light in applying that ink. That's absolutely fine. Then I'm going to add some mushrooms down at the bottom in black. So we'll have that one there, and we'll have that one there. Trying to stick as close to what I've done before, and that one, oops, there, except it's sticking to my hand. Oh dear. Right, that should be it. So, black ink again, Nocturne. and I'll probably stamp these twice, but again, I'm not going to press very hard, just lightly. Yep, we'll do it again. So go in, press. I'm going to do one more. It's only because I'm pressing lightly that I'm having to do it 3 times. That's fine. Finished with them. Put them over there. Then I'm taking the foliage one again. And I'm going to do some black on the foliage. Only a little. Not much at all, actually. I'm going to move it over slightly. So I'm just going to bring... where will I put it? I think I'll put it up here. I'm just going to bring the edge in. Although I will stamp it all, but the rest will go on the paper. Again, I'm not going to press that too hard. That's perfect. Perfect. And again, a little bit, maybe down, actually maybe here, bring it in a little bit more, like that. Move that out the way. Yep, that's fine. I'm not doing any second generation of that. Then, just a couple. I need to move it up a bit. Down here. Because this will be getting shaded in down here. So we do want it. We can have darker things at the bottom. That's one. Do I need another one? No. Put that away. And then the small fern. Again, this is just going to be a touch of black. Just wipe that off. Yep, that's fine. And I think one more. Or do I need one more? I'll do one more here. No. Maybe here. Do I need one more? I sound a bit like Tracy there, don't I? Faffing. That's where I got it from. Right. I'm going for it. That's fine. So, that's the main stamping done. We just have some, before I stamp the text, I want to shade the top here. So I'm going to come in with some rusty hinge, starting on my paper. Go along the top, down the side, just blend it through, and then some aged mahogany. Again, start on the paper, a bit more actually. I hope this video works. As I say, it is my first time, so I'll look over it, and if I'm happy with it, and I'll maybe see if I can get Tracy to look over it first, then I'll post it. I'm hoping I can get it onto YouTube. I have got an account, but I've never used it. All new. So, actually going to come in with a little bit of vintage photo in here. A little bit further. That's it. Right, now the text. Put these back on. So make sure it's the right way up first, that would help. So put that on there, and for this I'm using pine cone. Is that straight? I don't know. 1 second. I hate wonky text. I'm going to have a look through the camera. I think so. Right, we'll go for it. Pine cone. Yep, that's fine. Wipe my stamp. And then another lot here. Doesn't matter that it's going over the mushroom. Not a problem at all. Just going to stand up again. Pine cone. Right. And that actually, I think, am I right in saying that's all the stamping done, which is quite good. I'm just going to move things out the way. Take it off. Now, what I would say is I'm going to add the white highlights, but I would ordinarily let all this dry. I did that with my first one. Even though I'm using bleed proof white, I would still let all that dry. I'm going to very, very quickly dry it with my heat tool, because the nocturne and pine cone will be wet as well. I'll just give it a very quick dry. Then, taking the cutouts that Tracy supplied with the stencil, wrong way round, placing them on top, taking a brush, a fine brush, some bleed proof white, you don't need much, and I'm just mixing this on the side on a spare bit of non-stick craft sheet. Now, as I say, I would normally let everything completely dry, and although this is bleed proof, it might pick up some of this colour because there will be moisture still. So you just, a bit more water, you just start going through the stencil. Need a bit more water. And I'm not particularly precise, I just kind of follow the stencil, hope for the best. These stencils are amazing actually. I just love all the stuff that Tracy's been bringing out. Her new releases, one after the other, just gets better and better. We're very, very lucky. Keep going over that. But be mindful not to apply too much on your brush, because you don't want anything lumpy. Well, I don't. And then over onto here. That should be enough to show you what I mean. Yeah. So that's that one. I'm just going to wipe that because it's paint and I don't want to spoil my stencil. Then you do exactly the same with the wee one. So we'll do that. And I hope you all enjoy this. It's, as I say, it's a new thing for me, but if it is successful and people enjoy it, oh sorry, I've just moved the camera. I will do more. I'll get better, I promise. So, a little bit more paint, a bit more water. You'll get the feel of your bleed proof the more you use it. I love the bleed proof right enough, because obviously that it does what it says, it is bleed proof and the colours don't bleed through. It's actually doing very well with this, considering there will be moisture in there. Then again, using the fine brush, you can, well, I'll start here. You do some of these foliage finishing touches, I think, are so important to the overall look of your make. So, changing the subject, we've actually got sun. It's done nothing but rain here. I'm in Scotland, just outside Glasgow, and we have had so much rain, it's unbelievable. Although we can't complain, we haven't had snow. Well, we've had wee dustings, but nothing to complain about. So we've been very lucky. Aberdeen were dreadful, and other places in Scotland were dreadful, but we kind of missed it, which was quite good. It is lovely to look at, but not nice if you're to get around. So as you can see, I'm just adding some white highlights here and there onto the fern. Doesn't have to be much, just a hint of white. And all we've got left to do is darken it off down here. With your bleed proof, make sure you put your brush into water until you're ready to wash it. You don't want that paint drying on it. So that's that. And then I will use some forest green. Can you see? I'm in camera, yeah. Some forest green at the bottom here. I mean, you can go up further if you want with your colour. And there might be enough on here, some vintage photo. Now, you can always add a bit more. I'm just showing you roughly what you're doing, just to give that a bit of shading at the bottom. And that, I think, oh no, one more thing, I nearly forgot, one more thing. Now this is a stencil from my stash. It's rather large and I'm only using a little bit of it. So up in this corner, you'll see on the original, and down in this corner I'm using a little bit of the stencil. So I'm going to corner that, and vintage photo, and then we're finished. You could always put white splatters, which I might well do. I've not made my mind up, but you could add white splatters to it. That's that one. And then this one down at the bottom, where are they? There they are. Just check I'm still in camera. Go down there. Hopefully. And there we have it. I'll bring this up to show you on a black board. That's the one we've just made. And that's the one that was made previously. So very, very similar, actually, very similar. So I really hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll maybe come along again and do another one. Thanks very much if you've watched this. Really appreciate it. Bye for now.